Hi, I'm Tony Filippone. I'm the Amazon best-selling author of financial planning for the not yet wealthy, and I've also written this book, How to Have a Happy and Stress-Free Retirement. Both these books are available on Amazon.com. The Durable Power of Attorney. The Durable Power of Attorney document is one that often gets very uh, misconstrued, misunderstood. A lot of people don't know what that's all about. So I'm going to try to make this durable power of attorney document very understandable today. So I want to tell you a little quick story. If I go outside tomorrow and say I get hit by a bus, right? There's three things that can happen to me, really, right? There's three things. One is the bus can kind of graze me and maybe knocks me over, and maybe I get mad. Maybe I even swear at the bus driver because he was so reckless. And but he doesn't do any damage. So in that case, do I really need any kind of legal document? No, probably not. Right? I go about my life. I'm okay. The second thing that can happen is the bus can just hit me head on, and I'm out of the picture. Right? I'm gone. And then my family has to get together and decide who gets my stuff because I'm dead. I passed away. Right? If that happens, what document is my family going to need to read together with an attorney? If you said a will, you guessed right. Probably a will, or if I had a trust, maybe they would sit together and go over my trust and they'd figure out who gets what, right? The third thing that can happen is the bus can hit me, but it doesn't kill me. It just really does some damage, right? Maybe it puts me in the hospital, maybe for a long, extended period of time. And let's say I just really can't do much of anything. I just can't pay my bills. Now, if that happens, did my bills suddenly get better or did my bills get worse? Yeah, if you said my bills got worse, you're absolutely right because now I've got medical bills. And am I working? No. So where's the money going to come from? Well, my family's going to use what I have in savings or checking and reserves. And once they burn through that, then what do? Well, they're going to have to maybe go to my reserve accounts, like my retirement accounts. And they're going to call up my retirement accounts. My wife will probably be the one to call, and she'd say, "Hey, I need to get some money. My husband's in the hospital. He can't, I need to get some money out." And they say, "Well, oh, okay, Miss Filippone, that's fine. Just put Tony on the phone." And she's going to say, "Did you hear me? Right? I just told you he's in the hospital." So they say, "Oh, well, really, your retirement accounts are individual retirement accounts. They're in your husband's name. We really can't send you that money unless he gives us permission." Well, I'm out of it. I'm in the hospital. What is she to do? Well, eventually she would get the money, right? She'd go hire an attorney and she'd go through a process, and eventually she would be able to get to the money. But is that what I want? Do I want her to eventually get to the money that I've set aside for reserves to take care of our family? It's my money, right? It's our money, right? So, what would fix that? Well, if you're thinking a power of attorney would fix that, you're correct. A durable power of attorney would absolutely uh, fix that problem in many cases. The only thing is, what we've discovered is that it doesn't always work that way. Durable power of attorney doesn't always work that way. What would really happen is she would send that durable power of attorney to the financial institution, and then they would decide. They would tell her, "Hey, we're gonna look over this document here, and we're gonna get back to you within a week after our attorneys look at it. We're gonna tell you if we can honor it." Well, now how is she feeling? No, maybe not as secure as she once thought she would be, right? So it's an uncomfortable situation to be in for sure. So why is it? Why does a power of attorney not always work? Because it doesn't. It doesn't always work. Sometimes if they come back and that language and that power of attorney isn't perfect, they're not going to honor it. And I can tell you that there have been uh, hundreds and hundreds of times where this has happened, and I'll prove it to you as we go through. But there's a problem with these power of attorney. So let's look at why that is and why that could happen. So now, if you're wondering, but isn't my power of attorney a perfectly legal document? Shouldn't it work? Yes, but the truth is these documents fail all the time. Now think about it. When you use the power of attorney, are you using it to put money into your account or taking money out? Yeah, if you said taking money out, you'd be correct. And do financial institutions generally prefer you to put money in or take money out? That might sound like a silly question, but obviously they like it when you put money into the account. So now you're using a document to take money out. Now, have you ever tried to call a cell phone company or a cable company, and if your name isn't on the account, what happens? All of a sudden it's like state secrets, right? You can't even get, they don't even want to talk to you. Well, guess what? The same is true if you're trying to, in fact, do you think it's any better or worse if you're trying to get to your money? Yeah, it can be worse a lot of times, right? If you're not the absolute person who's supposed to get that money out, it can certainly be worse. And if you think about it, really the institution's not at fault, right? They're trying to do their job, right? If they give money to somebody they're not supposed to, who's responsible? They are. So they have to make sure that you are deserving of this money. So why on earth would this power of attorney document fail? How could this happen? Well, there's a number of instances where this could happen. We're going to go through them pretty quickly. But before I do, I just want to say, hey, I'm not an attorney, and I'm not here to sell you some big package of legal documents. That's not really my job. I'm a financial advisor. My job is to grow your money. But I always look at it this way. I guess if you can't get to your own money when you need it most, and I didn't make you aware of this problem, what kind of an advisor would I be? Right? So we need to make sure that you understand this. And by the way, I'm not sure why attorneys don't always put the perfect language in there or make it complicated or make it hard to get to your money. But I kind of have a suspicion. I don't know if this is why, but if you think about it, if your power of attorney document doesn't work, who are you going to have to hire to go after your own money? Yeah, the attorney, right? And do you think they get paid more to draft a perfect document? Or do you think they get paid more to represent you in court repeatedly with various financial institutions and insurance companies to actually, go with you to court? Which one do you think they make more money on? Just drafting that one-time document or repeatedly having to help you fight through the red tape to get to your own money? So I don't know if that's why they make it so complicated for these documents not to work, but I do know that we do run into problems with these documents because as a financial advisor, I see it in my daily practice. I've seen this happen to people. Okay, so what is one reason why? I'm going to give you 9 reasons why a power of attorney might not be honored by your financial institution, even if you've done everything right and you have a perfectly legal document. The first reason is how often does your document need to be updated? How recent does it need to be? Well, it's kind of a trick question because it's not up to the document. It's up to the financial institution or the institution where you're trying to use the power of attorney. They all have their own set of rules, right? And so if your document's 3, 4, 5 years old and their stipulations are we don't honor documents that are older than 3 years, you may have a problem. Another issue is banks and brokerages may require that you use their own power of attorney document. They may have a specific document that they require you use. And sometimes they even require that it's signed in front of a bank employee if we're talking about a savings account with a bank institution. In fact, some online banks really make you jump through hoops, and some of them honor very, very few, if any, power of attorney documents. If you use your bank's own power of attorney document, it could actually erode the power of your power of attorney document because you're not supposed to have more than one of these documents circulating at any one time. How about government agencies, right? Do you think that the Social Security Administration, the Veterans Administration, and the IRS, do you think they all got together one day and said, hey, let's make these rules, congruent and easy for everybody to follow. Let's make them this. Let's just make one easy language that you can stick in your power of attorney document so that everyone will honor it and we'll all be okay. Is that what they did? No, because you know how government agencies work. They all dig in their heels and say, no, if it's not my way, then it's not going to work. Well, that's what happened. And sometimes the language, if the language isn't just specifically correct in your power of attorney, it's not going to work. Chances are with any of these government agencies. Your power of attorney does not allow you to avoid probate by adding correct titling to accounts. So a lot of times you can't go use the power of attorney to change the title or who owns an account, which can be a problem down the road. A declaration of status. You have this. Your power of attorney should say this is the only power of attorney, and I revoke any other power of attorney that exists. Otherwise, you can end up with multiple powers of attorney and not sure which one is actually the one that should be utilized, and then you're dead in the water again. Problem 7. Do you have an exoneration clause? What if you're temporarily incapacitated? Somebody uses the power of attorney, and then you go back and sue them later and say, "Well, I never approved that transaction." You should have an exoneration clause so that the person using the power of attorney doesn't feel obligated, or that they're putting themselves into a position of responsibility that could come back on them. You haven't named a beneficiary. You haven't named beneficiaries in your power of attorney in case an account is ever moved. So that's another problem. 9, does your power of attorney allow the spouse to do a rollover of qualified money? If it doesn't specifically say you can do a rollover, you can't specifically do a rollover. So those are a number of issues. But remember, I told you earlier, there's really hundreds of these problems. Well, if you look, this is Google. Just you can Google. This is from a while ago, but you could go ahead and Google power of attorney problems and notice how many come up. I mean, it's like an insane amount of power of attorney problems. I think this one has like 53 million hits of power of attorney problems that came up. So again, I'm not making this up. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how important do you think having the right power of attorney document with the right language filed the right way, so that when your family needs access to your money in an emergency, how important is it to get that correct? Would you, on a scale of 1 to 10, what do you think? Is it a 1? Is it a 2? Is it a 5? Or is it a 9 or 10 of importance? Well, if you haven't had your power of attorney reviewed, and not by an attorney, like I said, most attorneys are going to tell you got a perfectly legal document, but hopefully you're working with an advisor that can go over it with you and show you the language in there and make sure that it's filed with each financial institution, make sure all the steps have been taken, all the I's have been dotted, all the T's have been crossed, because a lot of people have documents. Doesn't mean that they're going to work when they need them. We make sure for our clients that their power of attorney documents are going to work. So thanks for watching this video. If you want a power of attorney review, we do that for free. Make an appointment to bring it to our office, and we'll check it out for you. No charge. There's nothing to buy at this point. It would just be a service that we offer. And while you're here, please watch the video. There's a video on this page about avoiding going broke in retirement and securing your nest egg. If you haven't seen that yet, it's about 10 to 12 minutes long. Please find that video on this page or on my website at rockfordretirement.com, or Financial Advisors, Rockford, Illinois, I think is my other website. So check out the website and find that video and go ahead and watch that now. Thanks so much for watching, and have a great day.